Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the cook settings or cooking profile settings, which is in the control tab. Okay, and we'll start from the top. Cooking profiles 1 through 4 are executed automatically by the Pro BBQ Controller in numerical order. In other words, it's going to go from 1 through 4 unless the hold checkbox is checked in one of these checkboxes. And so we'll go over here to Control tab, scroll down to, says Cook Settings right here. If you're looking in the future, it might say Cooking Profile Settings. I think this is going to change. And anyway, you can see right here, we're on Profile 1 set to 300 degrees, and the profile is held, okay? Okay, so not to get ahead of ourselves. So, okay, the target temp, or the, actually it should be a target chamber temp, right here is the desired chamber or pit temperature. So in other words, it's on your oven, it would be what you would set your oven to. In other words, if you want to cook at 350, that's what this is right here. This is what you want to cook at, okay? And right now we want to cook at 300. This is not the actual temperature in the pit that you get from up here, okay? The status. All right. So the cook time is how long to stay in this profile. Now remember, and it also says this also includes a ramp up, ramp down time to reach the target. Okay, so what that means is, let's say we set the next profile temperature to be, let's say 250 degrees, and we're at 300, and we want to cook at 250 degrees for, let's say, 30 minutes, right? Well, it might take this barbecue, 15 minutes to go from 300, well, probably 10 minutes. So it'll take it like 10 minutes to go from 300 to 250 degrees. So you want to make sure you add that in here. So we'll say 40 minutes, okay? And that's what this is talking about. It also includes how long it takes to get to this temperature. So you need to make sure that you add that in. Okay, and so the last thing on here is hold prevents the controller from moving to the next profile. It says you should have one profile with the hold checkbox checked when using Cook by Probe. And we'll look at Cook by Probe later in the web app. So what that's saying is, let's say we want to use profiles 1, 2, and 3. If we want to use 1, 2, and 3, we need to uncheck this hold right here, because if this is checked, then the controller won't ever go past profile 1. Whatever hold is checked, so if profile 3 is checked, it'll do profile 1, profile 2, and profile 3, and then it'll just sit here forever, right? Okay, and that's what this is saying. If you're using Cook by Probe down here, you want to make sure that one of these is held, okay? Because otherwise, if you don't have any of these profiles checked with hold, what's going to happen is it's going to run profile 1 for 10 minutes. It's going to run profile 2 for 40 minutes. And then it's going to say, see a 0 and a 0. So, and then it's going to turn the grill off, right? So it'll run for about 50 minutes and stop. So you want to make sure you have one of them held, unless you want it to stop, right? If you say, okay, well, I want it to run, well, 10 minutes is kind of ridiculous, but let's say you want it to run, if you're cooking by time, let's say you want it to run 300 degrees for 30 minutes and 250 degrees for 40 minutes, and then drop down to 180 for like 90 minutes, okay, and then just turn off. That's what this will do right here. You don't have anything checked. Like I said, that's if you're cooking by time. If you're cooking by probe, you should have one of these checked. So, okay. Okay, and the last bit in this manual right here, it says exactly what I just told you. It says the Pro BBQ Controller defaults profile 1 with hold checked, as you saw up here. You must uncheck the hold to use profiles 2 through 4. And it says make sure to include enough time for changing temperatures. And it gives you an example, kind of like what I was telling you about. And that, my friends, is it. Don't forget, you can support the Muxall Open IoT channel by donation using a credit card and PayPal, or by purchasing products at the Muxall store. Oh, and one last thing I wanted to mention is after you change this, let's say let's just change this back, so we're just going to hold at 180. And like I said, this time right here means nothing if the hold is checked. Okay, so, but what I wanted to point out is after you make these changes, you need to come down here and hit enter save, because if you don't, these changes will not take effect. Okay.